Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Several and many of them did. Welcome to the podcast. Oh, no, girl. Yes, so happy to have you here. Make sure you're following us on all social media. Make sure if you're listening, you can also see our lovely faces and check us out on YouTube. We also have Patreon, which means you can get some behind the scene dish and dirt by being a loyal supporter. We share names and addresses and socials over there. Okay. But make sure you're following us, especially on Instagram, because we want to talk about some of the activity going on in our Instagram. We'll call them from the dusties. Now, let me say, I love when men engage online. I do, because I could see how it could be useful and helpful for women and men if it can be a dialogue, because a man can feel a way. This is my optimistic or naivete or just stupid? I think sometimes when a man responds to like a clip, a snippet from one of our podcasts, first thing they do is take it out of context. So I think when we always respond respectfully, like, well, this is in this episode, please feel free to listen to the whole episode, or, oh, we've put some information about it in the link, in the bio, research and science and studies, like this isn't just our opinion. It is never received well. So that's the part where I'm like,
who wants facts?
Who wants facts and information? Exactly. So we were talking about our main topic today. We wanted to talk about broke men. And I've referred to, where the gold at when you talk about gold diggers. And we realized, I think I'll speak for myself. I don't want to give her this compassion for men, but I do have that initial compassion for young men in this society who tells them that's all they need to bring to the table is $1. So when they don't have $1, they become very mean and hateful, and they don't feel good about themselves.
They don't feel valued.
They don't feel valued.
We live in a capitalistic society anyway. So, I mean, we already kind of set ourselves up for that disappointment if you're not bringing such and such to the table. Like, that is, I do have compassion for,
okay, good. She has compassion. And so when men think that we get an easy ride, and it's interesting when they do this to single women who are taking care of ourselves. We don't have anybody taking care of ourselves, taking care of us. We're paying all our own bills. So when they say, oh, well, you can pay the bills, literally doing it. Like,
pay all your bills, take yourself out on your own dates, pay for your meals, pay for your drinks. I actually do that every day of my life.
But when you say that to a man, they say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're an adult. But it's like, I'm only saying I do that because
you brought it up.
I try to do that to say why I don't want a man. So it's a whole bunch of double and triple.
Yeah.
But we decided, in case you're not following us on Instagram, and in case you don't get a chance to read the Dusties for yourself, we wanted to share some of the comments from our Instagram page from broke men. Now, let me say this about broke men. They tend to be meaner than men with money because they're stressed out. And again, as we said, society has beaten into their head over and over again, they have no value. A lot of women do not feel that way. A lot of women by default get to the place where they won't date a financially unstable man because they have tried it. And then it's like, what was that for? He was mean. He was hateful. He resented me for having options and things. He resented me for what I wanted to do. He resented me for wanting to go on dates or wanting to go on trips. And it just was not a good relationship because he didn't feel good about himself before he even got to me. Or you have the man that is going to just try to take advantage of you having a better financial situation. A man who has money doesn't mean he's generous. So I've dated plenty of men who had money. all my bills were still paid by me, you know?
And that wasn't something you were seeking though. That's the thing.
I wasn't.
So I not to discredit that men are faced with, I've dated plenty of men who said, giving me what sounds like horror stories from their end of women who were just after them for this, that, and the other. And I always go back to like, well, you knew what kind of woman you wanted, a needy woman, and you got her. So that's neither here nor there.
But exactly, because at first it's cute, right? At first it gives you a chance to flex this power you've been told you need to have. It's this financial capital you have to have this attraction. And it feels good. Like, oh yeah, I can kind of put that on her bill and feel like the big, strong man. And then the next thing you know, you cried in our comments about paying all the bills.
Yeah.
So make it make sense. But anyway, our lovely reader over there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's
share some of the comments and we'll talk about the comments after each one. Yeah.
Okay, so these are all comments under our how men benefit from relationships more than women.
Which is was the episode we did when we were talking about the Psychology Today article about rise of the lonely.
This thing is still going around on Instagram, so every once in a while we'll get a few new comments.
The most commented on post, I think, in the history of our podcast.
Definitely by men, for sure.
Definitely by men. Yes.
So this guy says, I 100% disagree. My BM, meaning baby mama, lay around all day and play on her phone while I cook, clean, pay all bills, wash clothes, take care of the kids, including the one that isn't mine biologically, and trying to get my business off the ground with no real help. How am I benefiting more in this scenario? I think y'all should keep quiet. That's what he said.
That's what he said. And I remember that comment. This was a few weeks ago. And I remember saying, it sounds like you should have a conversation with the person you're in a relationship with instead of coming for some strangers on the internet. Because if that is the situation, you should probably be talking to your partner about the challenges that you're feeling and why you don't think it's okay and not a mutually beneficial relationship. But to come on the internet and tell us we're mistaken, because you in a bad setup, you sound like you're being taken advantage of, or you're lying about it all. Again, not our problem. To which this man, I remember this man.
He responded.
And he said, "You put it out there." And that was his answer for why we weren't strangers anymore. When I said, instead of arguing with strangers on the internet, you should probably talk to the person. He said,
"Well, but the question is to him is, how does arguing with us help you in your situation? Because you're in a situation." Right.
Sounds like a horrible situation. It sounds like a very unbalanced, bad situation.
Very much sounds horrible. But
you should go home and look into that.
I didn't put you in that situation, bro.
Put you in that situation. But that was his comment in response to the research that shows that men make more money, live longer, are healthier when they are in partnerships.
Yeah.
Continue. Let's do another.
Okay. I wish they would start paying for dinner and drinks more often if that's the case.
As you mentioned, everything I've eaten in the past how long and drank in how long, literally paid for. And that is still the case. Literally still the case. Men still benefit more from relationships than women. I have paid for all the dinners, all the drinks, all the houses, all the cars, all the utilities, all the gas, all the power, all the cable, all the satellite, all the tires, all the oil changes.
Everything.
And it did not change the science and the research that is linked in the bio. Make sure you click the link in the bio.
That's what we're trying to tell them to do, but they
just click the link in the bio.
All right.
I have paid all the bills and hasn't changed. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. A woman is entitled to half if you marry her. So what's the topic again?
What were we talking about? Practice? And then what happened? So is there a reason why men feel women should not be entitled to half? Because they feel that I've been doing all the work. Well, the only reason whoever came up with anything that we do in this country, somebody made it up. And so the only reason that half concept, and that's not the case for everybody. That's not just like a standard, you're going to get half, right? No. So that's a misnomer, first of all. Some states like California, they put that stuff kind of more in the books. But the reason why is because it is hard to enumerate the value of a woman giving birth. It's hard to enumerate the value of a woman raising your children. It's hard to enumerate the value of a woman making your house a home. It's hard to enumerate the value. So guess what? Just to make it fair, just split it in half. You go on your way. More than likely, she still is incurring the emotional labor and burden of raising these children that you may or may not continue to have a relationship with as you move forward.
Once you're no longer in the house. Right. Correct.
So somebody came up with a calculation that...
But it's really men out here working at Chick-fil-A worried about prenups. I promise you next week, we ain't gonna talk about y'all so bad no more.
I was gonna say, I felt like you were a little hard in the paint. I didn't say that, y'all. That was her. But no, it's the broke men that be worried about somebody taking their stuff. And that's because they operate in a lack mindset. And so if your hand is like this for your $2, guess what can't come in? $3, $4. And so
that's just a bigger story for all of us. Let's not operate in that mindset. I've been really working on myself. Even in the past week, I started watching this video. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's called The Secret. It's from like the 80s or the 90s.
Yes, that was one of my first moments. You just not seeing that?
but it's the principle is what I've known all my, you know what I mean? It's like what I believed and even lines up with my Christian values too, and my Christian, like beliefs. So I watched it the other day and I've been operating in that thing.
And that's something. We got a whole nother conversation. We do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but just drop that little.
I think I first saw it in 2005, The Secret. And someone told me to watch it. They say it's this film that's what you be talking about. But I had never heard of Law of Attraction.
Yes.
But it was what I was doing all the time.
Oh,
and they were like, hey, that's what you do. And then
in the week that I've seen it, I can tell y'all some stuff. It's been,
but that could be next week's episode.
Yeah.
But because there is such an emphasis on scarcity and what you don't have. I mean, even psychologists say you shouldn't even watch commercials because they tell you your car ain't fast enough, your clothes ain't white enough, your kids ain't eating the right food. It's make you feel like I need to consume, I need to get more. And because if a man is told by society and programming that your value is financial and you pay all the bills and you ain't got the money to pay your bills, not only do you feel bad about yourself, that $1 you got, that's the only thing that's making me feel like a man.
Correct.
And guess what? You can't get nothing else as long as you holding it that close to the vest. So every time you write a comment as a broke man about a gold digger, you blocking your blessings. Okay.
Basically.
That's how I'm about to sum that up.
All right, let's see. Let me get another one here. I got a couple more. Okay. So if a man's job in a relationship is to provide for the woman, money, house, car, food, dates, clothes, how the hell does the man benefit more?
Now, who said that was the man's job?
No, I don't know. That's what they said.
That's what I'm saying, but that's my point. Who said that was the man's job?
And I think that's what's really frustrating. And this is the missing piece of the part, like, of us communicating with each other as men and women. When we put that out, I don't even think we even mentioned finances.
We did not.
In that entire
we did not at all.
Conversation.
We talked about emotional intelligence, vulnerability.
We talked about health. We talked about happiness.
We did not talk about finance.
Those were the benefits, because when I think of benefits, those benefit, we both quit our jobs because they weren't benefiting us anymore. You know what I mean? It had nothing, like, if money was a thing, then we would have stuck with our jobs.
Think about this. We have mentioned how many times how much more money we have since we don't have no jobs.
Right.
Because when we had jobs, we were conditioned to hold on to the next payday.
Yes.
So, but then you felt you was always broke and didn't never have enough. And I got $25, and then what time direct deposit hit, and you've been trained to just be able to make that much money. That's all the money you're gonna make.
But so when we talk about benefits, that's the number. It seems to be the number one thing that comes into a man's mind is money and providing. And we've been talking about that from the beginning of the show, about how society has drilled that into not only men but women too, that the man is supposed to be the provider and all that kind of stuff. So that's another thing.
But let me say this about society as well, because I spoke to a young man a few months ago. And he was trying to tell me that dating now, I mean, he was in his 20s, but he was saying dating now is so hard because young women now are he said they're just looking for a bag and they treat their person as a bag. And I said, well, explain that to me. First of all, as an old person, a bag is just money, currency, valuables. So he's saying young women now will say, well, you ain't took me to dinner, or you ain't paid for this, or whatever. No, you're not about to get none of my person. Now, when he said that to me, he said they treating that like it's a bag, but they not going to exchange that if they don't get a bag. And as a 47-year-old woman, I thought, finally, they didn't figure it out. Good for them. Good for them.
Wish I had figured that out in my 20s.
Good for them. Is that what? And he was shocked because he thought I was gonna be like, "Oh, that ain't right." And I really was like, "Okay, so that it's like a transaction." Okay. Okay, so
I commented. They were like, "Well, why? I mean, it's just we just taken something so sacred and made it a transaction. It's always been a transaction,
always
from the beginning of time. It always had. That's how it was set up.
Guess what? It was so transactional that when women had no rights, couldn't own property, couldn't have a bank account, couldn't have a credit card, couldn't get an education, she had to marry a man, whether she loved him or not, in order to move out of her parents' house, in order to move through the world. They designed it where this is a transaction. Okay, you don't love him, but he has money. Okay, you don't love him. He has a farm. Okay, you don't love him. He has an extra family over there. It's always been transactional. This romantic idea of falling in love or whatever is what got us in the mess we're in today.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, so this is my last and favorite comment of the day.
Oh, okay.
It's just, I'll be on the grammar. Okay, so he said, stop the cap, with the cap emojis.
Nice.
Females come to the table with nothing. expecting to eat and get a plate to go if you break up. BRAKE. Break up.
Now, see, you are.
And drop mic.
Let me tell y'all now, I did not know she was going to be like this today. She's been traveling. I think she might be a little jet lagged.
I'm just tired.
Okay, you just tired. You unusually petty and hateful today, and I'm here for it. I just wanted to give a little disclaimer. I was like, ouch, you hurt my feelings, and it wasn't about me. So yeah, females, do not bring anything to the table. They expect to eat and get a to-go plate when they break up, like the brakes on your car. And so, yeah, I think that answers it itself. I don't even think that deserves a rebuttal. I think that is self-explanatory.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? I think men resent women for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I think there is an underlying resentment for some men that women get to be creative and expressive and can cry when they feel like it without being judged harshly. Okay. I think men resent that women are the most educated, Black women especially, the most educated segment of the society and are gainfully employed, still making less than the men are making, but still we're going to be able to get a job when we're educated. I think men, the reason why there's a natural resentment in those two spaces is because young boys are taught to be competitive. And so they can't see you as anything but competition. And so they don't see you as a helpmate. They don't see you as a partner. They see you as competition. And so when you do partner with someone, it's very rare that you get that real partnership you're looking for, because you're like, wait, I'm on your side. Wait, what are we doing? We're together now. Whatever you got is mine. Whatever I got is yours. Let's grow this together. And because of the scarcity mindset, because of the competitive nature, because of the, we were talking about earlier, do men's emotional intelligence stop at puberty? When they start becoming young men, they're told that you're a protector, you're a provider. And so now they can't be a human. Now they can't have emotions. And if they have emotions, that's too vulnerable. And vulnerable means girly. And so I won't be that. And so all these things that we can literally intelligently look at and say we have compassion for men in America because they didn't raise themselves, and society and all these things made them the way they are. And then, like I said, the compassion starts dropping off when you realize it's not serving you well. Find a new way to be, because all of us were raised a certain way, and all of us have had to find new ways to be to serve us well or better. We can't just say, well, I used to, my mom used to change my diaper, so no, I don't go sit on the toilet when I got to take a shit. That wouldn't be right. You know different now. There's more information available to you.
It's a great example.
Tell me what you used to do. We did do something different now. We grew up. So I just think men need to realize that when they're arguing with women who have their own money, who pay their own bills, about them paying the bills, that is a moot point. That is not a valid argument. Like, you seem broke. You seem broke when you say that. And there's also videos, I feel like it's Iman Shumert or somebody, who was saying a man with money ain't looking for no woman with her own money. It ain't tripping over a woman not having money. You know, only a broke dude is talking about what you bring to the table financially. Like, who cares about that? Money comes and it goes. Can you hold a conversation? Can you hold my attention? Can you love me? Can you be compassionate? Can you receive love? That's a whole nother topic that a lot of times men just aren't even conditioned or able to receive someone pouring into them. And so it ain't about the Benjamins this time, fellas. And I don't know how to break it to you other than, if you broke, say you broke, or write a comment on our page and we'll figure it out. But we do like the engagement, so that's not so bad. But this was our most engaged with post. And even though we had,
even to this day, it's still going.
And that was a few weeks ago. And even though we did not talk about finances in that post, we were talking about emotional availability, connectivity, relationships, vulnerability, all that stuff. Men, if they had clicked on the links, they would see that men who are in relationships make more money. So if your concern is paying all the bills, guess what? You would be making more money to do that if you were in a healthy relationship. But again, they won't click on no link.
No, they ain't gonna click on the link. They don't want to see the truth.
They don't want the truth. But anyway, y'all, what do y'all think? Do y'all think broke men are the pariahs of society like we do? I'm joking.
And we keep saying broke men, and it sounds really harsh. It does sound. I understand,
but it's a double.
Man, I can see you listening to this and be like, these.
Right. No, and for me, I'm saying broke as it's a double entendre. We say financially unstable. Most of us could all use a lot more money. We are not rich either, but we also work on our mindset about money. We work on our mind when we consciously read books, we consciously consume information to make us not feel bad because we ain't got $1 billion in the bank. I mean, you have to think about it. As a woman, we're not married, we don't have children. Society and programming, we would be somewhere depressed and an alcoholic and 500 pounds if we took that information that was offered to us. Right. We can see that information is not serving me well. It's not true. And that's what we encourage our brothers to do. Get you some better information about you, because what they taught you, what they want you to believe is not real information.
That really is the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. And that's why we talk about the things we talk about. We share insights and research and study, and not just our opinions and our own experiences, because we realize, again, men are not gravitating towards information as readily as women are. And women, we're having to figure out, okay, I was told I need to do this, this, and this by this age. And I was told if I hadn't done this, this, and this, then I'm a spinster. I'm an old maid. I'm a dialogue with my cat. And because we knew that wasn't true, we said, I need to learn something different about myself. And then you say, oh, okay, I'm fly. Oh, I'm the auntie. Oh, I can come. Okay, I got who I am. And this is real information, because this is what I'm looking at in the mirror. And we would need our brothers to get some new information. Just because you ain't got a lot of money don't mean you don't have value. And when I say broke men, I'm talking about broken men in spirit, broken in thought, in dreams, in feelings. And then you show up on the internet and you come to Two Gorgeous Women's Podcast showing your ass. Ooh, no, he didn't. Girl.
Yes, he did.
We can end it there, baby. We'll see y'all next time on the podcast. Oh, no, girl, yes.